I kind of look like the devil because I have my mic underneath me, so therefore I have a goatee, and I have bullhorns behind me to make me look very devilish. So, yeah, when I moved to the great state of Texas, I decided to buy some bullhorns. I met some guy in a McDonald's parking lot, and I was like, hey, I want those. And he was like, okay, $35. And I was like, how about $20? And he's like, sure. And now I own those for $20. And I'm very happy that I own those, even though they are a biscuit to hang up. So yeah, today's video is going to be about me saying goodbye to roommates. I no longer have roommates anymore because now I live with my beautiful girlfriend who we are expecting a son very shortly. I'm going to go ahead and kind of get into this video. No more about them. They get their own shine light here shortly when Aiden's born. This is for all the roommates that I had. So if you were one of my roommates, thank you for, being a friend that I could live with. So I lived with my parents until I was 22 years old. When I was 21, I met two friends named Zach and Tyson. They're still my great best friends, and we all live now in the state of Texas. And I'm very happy that we now live in Texas. At a point, I actually was really annoyed about having to move to Texas, but I'll get into that in a little bit. So, I met them when I was 21 years old. They came down to Alabama where I lived, and we were going to have some fun and go to Disney World. Sadly, there was a hurricane, and we never actually got to go, and also, my dog died. So that was awful, but it was my very first steps at having friends in the career that I wanted, and it allowed me to kind of find a footing to get out of the door of my parents' house. I was so excited to finally get out of their house. They were very awesome, and they wanted me to, chase after the career path that I wanted. And the career path I wanted was looking dead-eye in this camera. It was being able to entertain you guys and make people laugh occasionally. That's what I wanted in life. It wasn't the most ideal job, and I don't know if my parents saw that, but they saw how happy it made me, and they were like, go for it, go for it. And I was 22 until I finally was able to get my foot out the door, and that was to move with Zach and Tyson to California. I was going to be living in Los Angeles, and I was so freaking excited because I had no idea I would ever be able to live in such an amazing place. Los Angeles was the goal. It was and is, always has been the goal. But later I found out it's just expensive to live here, and I'm glad I don't live there anymore. But at the time, it was the goal. It was everything I ever wanted. So, I am not able to afford my own place in Los Angeles, but luckily my friend Zach was able to, and he allowed me to be one of his roommates with his brother, Tyson. Tyson slept on a lazy boy, and that's where he slept, and that was what his room was the lazy boy. And my room was a closet. It was a walk-in closet, mind you. It was a walk-in closet, and I had an air mattress on the floor, which I slept on. It was in Zach's office. So he had his own bedroom, he had his own office, and in that office was a bathroom, which I used, as well as Tyson used, and also as well as Zach used when he was, done filming said videos. It was awesome. It was absolutely incredibly awesome. I look back and don't look at it like, ugh, I lived in a closet? No, it was awesome. I was living in the place that I had always dreamed. Not a closet, but LA, Studio City. It was so awesome. I lived right next to Universal Studios, and we would always go there. I was working for a company that I had always admired, Machinima. I was a video editor over there for them, and it was just the life that I had always hoped for. But it only lasted for 6 months, and that's okay. I had a lot of fun in LA, and I was all right with saying goodbye to it. I never even thought in my life I would get to go to LA. I thought, as well as a lot of people think, that they're kind of stuck where they are. They kind of feel like they're stuck in the state that they reside in. I didn't think I would ever be able to go any further than Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, or Florida. I thought I was kind of confined in a bubble of those states. But luckily, I had friends that allowed me to kind of venture on with them. I don't think I would have been able to do it by myself. I had horrible OCD and I had horrible anxiety. but they allowed me to grow out of that bubble and become the person I am today. That allowed me to move to Texas and meet a wonderful woman named Courtney. And now I'm going to be having my firstborn son very shortly, in like less than a month almost, I think. No, 5 weeks. In 5 weeks, I'll be having my very first son. And I'm ecstatic. And it's in Texas. I never even thought I would be living in Texas. But I never thought I'd live in LA. I never thought I'd live in Wisconsin. Those just kind of came with all that was going on. So, next up, I had to move from LA back to Alabama. Sadly, I hated that I had to move back to Alabama, but it was only for a very short period of time because we were going to be starting a roommate house. Me, Zach, and Tyson, and now our new friend, Steven Suptic. We were all going to be moving into a house in Wisconsin, and we were going to be starting a series called Ramblin'. And to this day, it's one of my favorite channels to go look back on and just laugh at some of the stuff that we were able to do. So happy that I moved to the great white state of Wisconsin. God, was it cold. It was always freezing, but I always, as a kid, always wanted to see snow. And in Alabama, you're lucky if you see snow maybe once a year, if that. And it's usually only, a half an inch. That's it. And you just can't go anywhere. But in Wisconsin, it snowed just about every day in winter, so that was really cool. Until I wrecked my truck hitting a deer, and then I also wrecked my truck hitting some black ice on a bridge. So that was fun. But other than that, Wisconsin was a lot of fun. I, was able to live with new roommates, Steven, and I had a great time. Wisconsin was awesome. And at that time, I was in a relationship with somebody that I thought would go the distance. It did not go the distance, and I still wish her the best, and I hope she wishes the best for me as well. We've gone our separate directions. She now lives in Alabama, and I live now in Texas. And I moved from Wisconsin back to Alabama with her. And it was kind of a small hiatus at being a roommate, having the roommate life. But, I tried to make a relationship work. It didn't work. We're both in relationships that we're really happy with. So, good. Everyone wins. That's all that matters. Everyone wins. Everyone's happy. My friends, on the other hand, went to Seattle and they lived it up and they had a really great time. And Seattle was a place that I always wanted to live. And sadly, I didn't get the chance. I did get to visit, though. So I got to visit my old roommates in Washington State. And I got to live the life of Seattle for, I think it was like a week or 2 weeks, I think. So much fun. So much fun. So then I went from Alabama. I was offered a place to live in California when they moved from Washington down to LA again. I was finally going to be able to live in LA again. And I was really excited. Oh my gosh, was I excited. So I finally get all my stuff packed up. I rented a pod. It was so expensive. I was so broke at this point. I was like beyond broke. I was just, oh my God, I was so broke. I hated it. But I was offered this opportunity and I was like, I gotta get out of this state. I have to get out of Alabama. Everything inside me was screaming, you need to run. Not because of the bad relationship, but because I wasn't supposed to be in Alabama. Everything inside me always screamed, you're not supposed to be here. There's something more for you out there. I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was something out there for me. And LA always screamed. The West was always calling for me. I don't know. Something in the West was screaming. And I was like, all right, sweet. I'm going to move out there. The relationship broke up with me and my ex. She's happy. I'm happy. I'm moving to LA. And awesome. So I'm finally in LA. I'm living there for about 2 months. And my friend Zach, my roommate from, all those years of living with Zach, Aviator Gaming, found a house. Not in LA, though. He found a house in Texas. He found a house in Texas, and I was actually a little angry with him, to say the least, because I had just moved to California. I had just driven, I don't know, whatever, it was one of those, from Alabama to Galveston, Texas, and then all the way to LA. So I was a little angry with him that he had found a house in Dallas, Texas. Because I just moved and I just spent like $5-6 grand to get out there. So I was a little annoyed, but luckily, because he is such an amazing friend, he helped me kind of get from LA to Texas. And at this time, I'm mumbling and I'm grumbling. I'm like, man, I wanted to live in LA. LA was supposed to be the place I was supposed to be. This has got to be the place I need to be. This is where life is calling me. Something in the West is calling me. But it wasn't LA. I'm glad that Zach and Megan, his now wife, found this house for him in Dallas. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have found love. Zach wouldn't have found love. And Tyson wouldn't have found love. They're my best friends. And I'm glad that they were able to find love here in Texas. And I'm glad I was able to find love here in Texas. I didn't think Texas would have been the place. But I'm glad that I moved. I'm glad I moved with them. I was actually thinking about staying in LA. And I'm really glad I didn't. Because I'm really happy. I'm living what I wanted. I wanted to have a family. And I also wanted to be a content creator. So I'm really glad that excuse me. I'm sorry. Courtney's pregnancy's got me all messed up hormonally too, and I just cry. I don't know why. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm really happy that I'm in Texas. And yeah, I've been here now for almost 4 years, and so happy with where life has brought me. I've, had amazing roommates throughout those years. Luckily, some of those roommates have stayed the same. I lived with Tyson for years. Tyson was my last roommate that I lived with. I just recently moved out of the house with him and his fiance, who are actually getting married this weekend. So I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy that he found love. I'm glad that Zach found love, and I'm glad that I found love. I'm really happy where I am. It's weird that pregnancy kind of messes with a man's brain too. I'm so much more emotional. I watch the dumbest movies and cry. Not that this is dumb. I'm really happy that I have great friends, and I'm glad that I had great roommates over the years. And I'm glad that I'm in a great place here in, Texas. I'm also glad that I have bullhorns. They're really cool. But all in all, what I'm trying to say is I've had a great life, and I thank it all to, a great family, great roommates who are basically family now. So I'm really happy. And yeah, this is the start of a new chapter. I now live with my wonderful girlfriend and her wonderful son, and soon to be my very own son. Courtney is 5 weeks shy of the due date. So we're really excited to get this baby out because it's tough. It's tough being that pregnant, and I do everything I can to try to help Courtney where I can. And yeah, I'm very fortunate to be able to be back in this limelight. I stopped being a YouTuber for a short period of time, and it was tough. It was tough, but I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad I'm back in the camera's view, and I'm glad that I get to talk to you guys again. So I hope everyone has a good week. If you were able to enjoy this video, please hit the like button. If you'd like me to talk about anything else, please let me know down in the comments section, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. And sorry, I cried. Sorry about that. All right. Bye, guys.